All right. So, welcome to the course, guys. I just want to share a little bit about myself and then hear a little bit about each of you guys. So, I'm originally from a small town, farm town in northeastern North Dakota. I'm a graduate from the University of North Dakota. I majored in history, but later decided that I had a passion for early childhood education. So after graduation, I moved from Grand Forks, North Dakota, where I was living, to Denver, Colorado to pursue my career in ECE. Since then, I've worked for the public and private sectors as a teacher and a director for the last 10 years, and I've also worked in the public schools as a special para educator. I'm currently an education supervisor for Adams County Head Start. It's a program here. It's a Head Start program in Denver Metro. I love working with children and families who are underprivileged. That's something I have a real passion for. I hope one day I could go back to school and pursue my doctoral degree in child development. So that's just a little bit about me. Now I'm going to open up conversation and invite you guys to introduce yourselves. So you guys could please just share where you're currently residing, type of degree you're pursuing, and what your favorite toy was as a child and why.
My name is Delphine Wilkins. I'm from Illinois, and I work for KinderCare Learning Center in Manton, Illinois. I've been doing this for maybe a little bit over 15 years, and I'm pursuing my associate's degree.
Welcome, Delphine. How do you like KinderCare?
I love KinderCare.
Welcome to the class.
Thank you.
Can anyone talk or?
Yep, anybody could talk.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm Christina Dowd. I live in Moni, Illinois. I'm actually really close to Madison. I have 2 kids. I don't currently work in the field right now, but raising my kids, and it's kind of the same thing. When I was younger, my favorite toy was a Tamagotchi, and it was probably because you had to like raise that animal, like while you were little, you didn't know what you were doing, and it was definitely something I enjoyed doing.
What made you decide to go into ECE?
Well, when my oldest son was probably 1.5 years old, he wasn't developed the way he should be. Like, he wasn't talking or walking, so he's seen 3 different therapists, and I see them 3 times a week, and it was amazing seeing the progress, and it gave me a huge change of heart, and it's something I want to do, and I want to help other kids, progress and see them, get further, just like I saw my son.
That's great. Well, welcome to class.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nikki DePina. I live in Richmond Park, Illinois. I'm currently working as a child care assistant for a child care agency, which I go to different daycares that's in the area of Richmond Park and like Mokina, Tinley Park, a lot of different areas. And that's like 30 miles from me at the max. And my favorite toy when I was little, it was a doll that came with a cassette tape. And it was called Patty Play Pal because it had a lot of books on tape. And I like to read.
Well, welcome, Nikki. So do you have to travel a lot then?
No, actually, I've been at one location since I started with the company. And they want to hire me permanently, but it's kind of a distance. So I haven't made up my mind if I'm going to take it permanently.
Okay. Well, welcome to class.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kendall Smith. I currently work at Bright Horizons in Chicago. I'm sorry, I live in Chicago as well. And I currently work at Bright Horizons at the Central Loop downtown location. That is a backup center for employees who work for different companies. They are able to get backup care through their work, so we take care of their children while they're at work. I work in the school-age classroom, and my favorite toy when I was younger was the Hot Wheels race car.
Nice. It's nice to see another male in the field. Welcome, Kendall.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lidiana Hernandez. Most people know me as Lily. I live in Hikers, Florida. I'm currently pursuing my associate's degree to then get my bachelor's to become a preschool teacher. Let's see. I worked as a BPK teacher for about 10 years before becoming a stay-at-home mom, which now it's been for the past 7 years stay-at-home mom. And my favorite toy as a kid, I must say, was a Slinky. That I remember I used to take this thing everywhere, and I have a lot of pictures with my Slinky because I was the only child till I was about 11. So I think I played with this everywhere I went.
Thank you for sharing, Liddy.
My name is Jackie, and I'm from Milford, Ohio, and currently work at KinderCare. I've been with the company for about 3 years now. Kind of been doing a little bit of everything. I was a preschool teacher. Now I do the phonics program for KinderCare and work in the school age room. So it's been kind of interesting getting to know different age groups. And then my favorite childhood toy was probably a My Buddy doll. I used to take him everywhere with me for sure.
That is so funny, Jackie. I actually have a My Buddy doll upstairs in my closet.
I don't have him anymore, but yes, I definitely took him everywhere.
It's definitely the doll of the 90s, or the 80s, I should say. Hi, Brittany.
Hi, I think it works now.
Yep, I can hear you.
I had to get my headphones.
Did you want to introduce yourself, Brittany?
Oh, sure. Did I go now?
Yep, you could go now.
Hi, everyone. My name is Brittany. Sorry about the little interruption there. I'm from Chicago. I'm pursuing a degree in healthcare management. Eventually, I plan on going into nursing. My favorite toy as a child, probably a Barbie. I love doing hair and dressing up Barbies and playing with dolls. So I'm going to say a Barbie. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Nice to meet you guys.
Thanks, Brittany. Welcome to class.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to share? All right, well, welcome everybody to class. I am going to go to our next slide. So I just want to know how things are going. How is class going for you guys so far? Are you guys able to navigate through the course, the modules, discussions? There's a lot of things pertaining to this online class, so it kind of feels a little overwhelming, but I know that you guys could all get through this. Just reading your guys' discussions and everything, I know you guys are very competent and very smart, and I really am glad to have you here. But if you guys do have questions about any of this, please let me know. So just opening up conversation still, how's it going?
It's going okay for me. I was overwhelmed at first, but then I got through it.
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit deceiving because the first module, it's really not much. It's just like a lot of reading. And then the second, third, fourth, and fifth modules is a lot of work. And then the sixth module, it's kind of easy like the first module. So it's kind of a lot right away, right in the middle, and then at the end it kind of tapers off.
Michael, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Regarding the portfolios, I'm not sure about the navigation for that. How do we do that? Am I jumping ahead?
You might be jumping ahead.
Okay, because I was reading something regarding that's going to come up in Module 6.
In Module 6, I think what you're thinking of is possibly the journals.
Yes, the journals.
Yeah, so, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later, but
okay,
a little bit more as we progress into the class tonight.
Okay, because I wasn't sure if it was something we were supposed to start now or later down the line.
Yep, and I'll touch a little bit more on this later, but
okay,
if I were you guys, I would suggest starting to do them sooner rather than later, but you won't be submitting that until Module 5, and I'll give you a little bit more background about that a little bit later tonight.
Okay. Okay.
Does anybody else have anything else to share? All right, if nobody else has anything else to share, I'm going to be jumping on to the next slide of our PowerPoint. So this is the live classroom session expectations. So it's expected that you guys make an effort to attend each live session and participate. I appreciate you all taking the time to be a part of tonight's live session. If you ever cannot attend a live session, you will need to view the video in the live session discussion forum and respond to the posted questions to earn full points. I will usually post a live session either tonight or the day after. And then basically, I mean, I understand that life happens, but, try to prepare for that. It's only 3 times throughout this course. We have one on this module. We have one not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after, and then on the 5th module, and then that concludes it. Does anybody have any questions about that?
Nope.
So far.
No.
All right. So we're going to go back to scoring rubrics. Excuse me. This is going to be your friend. Really pay attention to the rubrics when you guys are doing your assignments, because if anything is missed out of there, that's usually how students get docked with not getting their full points. So making sure that you're really looking at that and just following that as a guideline. So to view the rubrics for each assignment, you just click on the assignment title under the assignment tab in each module. Towards the left side, you'll see a box with the total points possible listed. In that box under the total points, there will be a button that says View Rubric. By clicking on that button, a new window will open with the scoring rubric. Please use these rubrics to your advantage, like I said, to ensure you receive the most possible points for the assignment. And please note that there is no rubric attached for the discussions. However, if you create a substantial post that answers the prompt question and respond to at least one peer with a concise paragraph to extend their learning, then you will receive full credit. So just make sure that when you respond to your peers that you respond, I mean, you can respond to more than one. I encourage to respond to more than one, but if you only want to respond to one, or that's, I mean, that's substantial as long as you have a paragraph that is concise and it extends your peers' learning. Does anybody have any questions about that?
No.
I don't.
Perfect. So I'm going to move on. To submitting assignments. So I understand that some of you guys are new to the online class. So I really suggest you guys to try to navigate around. Sometimes our best teachers are ourselves, so I suggest you guys do that. But just a little guideline for submitting assignments. I just want to take a little moment to review the assignment submission. So in order to submit an assignment, just click on the assignment title under the assignment tab in each module. Scroll down towards the bottom and select the file from your computer that you would like to submit and select open. Be sure to click the submit button once you have uploaded your assignment. And this part is really, really substantial. Please note that 10% of the total points possible will be deducted for each day that an assignment is late. I really, really want you guys to be aware of this because I know in my previous classes, a lot of students missed points just because they didn't turn in their assignment until like 3 days late. And if you turn it 3 days late, you know, you guys could do the math, that's 30% of your grade right there deducted. So doing it, you know, try to look at your guys' calendar and try to plan ahead and accordingly and try to manage your guys' schedule so you guys can get those assignments in. Does anyone have questions about that?
No.
Okay. So I talked a little bit about the reflection journal assignment overview. So as you guys know, that you probably read a little bit, that in this course you're getting to know the early childhood education and yourself as an early childhood professional. So the reflection journals are a great tool for reinforcing the learning and supporting your individual growth as a professional. So beginning with this module, Module 2, you'll be given a prompt for your exploration and reflection to be included in your journal. You will submit all of your journal entries together in one document in Module 5. So that's when you submit that. Each journal should be 1 page long, start on a new page, and be in one document in APA format. Each journal entry should have the module number and a title of your choosing. Make each entry thoughtful and engaging in a minimum of 1 type double-space page. You can use a bulleted list or other creative format if you wish. The main thing out of there, it just needs to be 1 page long in order to receive that credit. And if you take a look at the journal topics, like you're supposed to start, you know, I mean, you could wait until the last week if you want, but I encourage you guys to start now and start doing your journal topics and making sure that you take a look at the journal and just prepare your schedule and try to get that done. Each week it's, you know, starting from now and from week 2 to week 5, so you don't have 3 or 4 journals to do at the very last week. Does anybody have questions for that? Oh, it looks like Christina said, is there a rubric for the journal? That's a good question, Christina. I'm not sure right off the top of my head, but I could get back to you after class. All right, does anybody have any other questions about that?
No, not for me right now.
All right.
I was trying to find it. I don't see, this is Jackie, I'm sorry. I don't see where it, does it say journal assignment? Because when I was looking underneath the assignment tabs, there wasn't, I didn't see where it said to do this one, the module 2 one.
So I would look in your syllabus. Have you read your syllabus yet?
Oh, it's in the syllabus. No.
Well, it might be. That's where I would look first.
Okay.
And then go from there, because I mean that kind of lays out the groundwork of what is due and when it's due usually. So that's probably a good place to look, Jackie, to start out with. And if you can't find it for some reason, let me know, and then I will try to help you locate that.
Okay.
All right, any other questions? All right, moving on. APA Guide for School of Education. So, different academic and professional disciplines use different methods for citing sources of information. This is done so that the ideas are properly attributed to their author so that the authors can easily find and refer to the information to help with further study on their research. To ensure consistency and precision for students and instructors, Rasmussen has chosen APA style as a standard documentation and citation style to be used in all courses. APA format was established by American Psychological Association. It's used widely in the social science and other research-based fields. And it is one of the most universally applicable documentation styles because of its easy to use. By using the APA as the common style in your classes and assignments, the college seeks to streamline the documentation component of the important information literacy process. So basically, if this is your first class or if this is your 7th class with Rasmussen, you guys are going to be using APA format. Excuse me. For this particular class, the things that I have noticed students losing lots of points on are how to properly cite APA format in their papers. So I'm going to give you kind of, guys, just a little bit of an overview of what I'm looking for when you guys submit your papers. So it's not like a shock to you if you don't do this. If you don't do this, you may lose points. So the question is, do you guys know how to get to the APA tab?
I don't.
So I created a link of where to find the APA tab. So if you go to your course homepage and you go to the top right and you click on resources, that will bring you to a page that looks like this. Here you will find your APA guide. You could find different things on here, different resources, articles. If you need a tutor, anything that you need, you know, let me know first of all so I could help you and guide you to the correct resources. There's just different things here on this page that will help you, you know, not just in this class, but in your future classes at Rasmussen. And here is an example for your guys' references of what I'm looking at when I'm grading your guys' papers. So when you guys end up submitting your papers, you need to have an APA, and this is APA formats, just so you know. You need a separate title page with the title of your paper, your name, Rasmussen College, and then like the author note. This paper is being submitted on blah, blah, blah for Mike Hagers. If you do that with your assignments and your writing for your papers that you write, you will receive full credit. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right. Does anybody have any questions about this? Nope. All right, moving on. So just want to follow up from the whole child animation. I don't know if you guys got a chance to do this, but I'm going to open up to conversation. You know, early childhood educators and advocates must view children from a holistic perspective. The concept the whole child is extremely important in early childhood education. So you guys were supposed to do an activity where you can see how the different domains function together. So after doing this or viewing this, what is your guys' strongest domains? Would anybody like to share? What do you think is your strongest domain? How about your most challenging domain? I know for me, being social is a little bit more challenging for me. I tend to be an introvert, so it's a little bit more difficult for me to be open and social. So that's one of the things I find most challenging, especially growing up as a kid. That was a little bit difficult for me to engage in conversations with other peers.
I'm the opposite. That's probably my strong point.
Well,
I
why do you think that?
I can talk to anybody. I really don't have a problem. I can't go anywhere by myself. I've always made friends wherever I went. I never had a problem with engaging, sitting down, talking to anybody. It can be a 3-month-old. I'll have her laughing and engaging with me and singing and cooing. Yeah. So I don't have a problem with that. That's probably my strongest.
Well, thank you for sharing.
I think my strongest is social, emotional too. I always tend to gravitate to those kids who have difficulties communicating with their friends and just really helping them, learn how to use their words or think of a different way to handle the situation or even just how to help themselves calm down.
I'm good with redirecting too. Like, 'cause you can't do, it's no timeout. So it's good. Like, I'm really good at redirecting them to, like, find another center or get them to read a book to me or me read a book to them and different things like that.
I'm glad you don't do timeouts.
No, don't believe in them. It's easier to redirect them, and have them do something else and be more engaged in something else. So that way they feel like, hey, I can do this. I can sit down. I can play nicely. I can use my words. I can be sociable and open up more.
And from an emotional standpoint, I feel like that if you put a child in a timeout, what kind of message are you sending them?
Yeah, their feelings aren't being heard.
Very hurt.
Yeah, they're not being
Yes, I believe
validated.
I believe that messes with their self-esteem as well.
Yes, I believe that too. That plays a big part in their self-esteem because they'll feel like, well, if I accidentally do something wrong, am I going to have to go to timeout?
Mhm.
Absolutely.
So I think we're all on the same page.
Yes.
What kind of redirection techniques do you guys use?
With me personally, I do like, let's go get a book. Sometimes a book accommodates kid down quicker than putting them back in the center where they're, playing with toys and stuff. Sometimes sitting down with a book and sitting one-on-one for that just few minutes just calms them down. That works for me.
Yes, I totally agree with you. And also, I believe in the excitement that you use in your voice redirects too. Like if you really sound excited, then that'll redirect them as well.
Yes.
Low calm voices work much better than somebody who's feels like they're being argumentative back and demanding.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, all in the approach. If you have a very friendly approach, like, hey, come here, let's get a book, let's read, let's see what new books
Yes,
we have over here. They're excited to go with you and feel more warm. You're warming to come to.
absolutely.
I would agree with the warming, and I would also say maybe singing. I know we do a lot of singing, whether it's a song we just make up or whether we do something with singing and involve it with the children in circles because kids love music, so they'll glean and they'll come over and they'll sit a while and listen if you just sing to them.
Yeah,
That was me today. I was singing Elsa all day.
I really think singing is a great way for redirection too, because it makes everybody happy, it seems like. I mean, kind of, I don't know, I feel like it just makes everyone happy, and you know, honestly, I think redirection with children, I think it depends on the child itself, and how they respond to redirection, and actually getting to know your child and anticipating those behaviors before they actually happen. So, what are your guys' most challenging domains through the whole child?
Maybe for me, it would be trying to get some of the kids to parallel play, you know, side by side with each other without having to argue or fight or share a toy.
Mm-hmm. And what ages do you work with again?
2-year-olds.
No.
Oh boy. I would have to say, for me, it's challenging when they're the no. Like, if you say, hey, let's do this. No. And it's like, okay. No. Or they start throwing stuff or spitting and it's just like, that's a challenge for me personally. I have to just regroup myself and say, okay, we're going to try this again and again and again and again until you give in and we get it right.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Nikki, have you ever thought about giving choices?
I've tried that. I work with preschoolers. I'm in early 3s, 4s, and 5s. It depends on the day. But yes, we've tried that. We've tried everything. I bribe them. I tell them they can look at the iPad for 5 minutes. But we have some that if they don't want to do it, they're not going to do it. It's like no reasoning with them. So I'll give them a little space, and then I'll come back and talk to them again and redirect them and just keep trying until we get a understanding with each other.
Mm-hmm.
But some days it's challenging for me.
Well, I have a 2-year-old at home, and all she says is no, 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 no. So it is a little bit difficult for me too, especially when I give her not just 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 choices, but even 5 choices, and she's no, no, no.
Okay, so you understand where we're coming from.
Right.
Their no is just no. The 3, 4s, and 5s, you can kind of redirect them more. The 2-year-olds, it's hard. Now that's a challenge. That age right there is a challenge. 1-year-old, you can still redirect them, talk to them, get them. A 2-year-old is very challenging.
Yes.
I'm not into 2-year-olds much. Maybe once a week.
You know, when I was a teacher, I always thought that 3-year-olds were 2.5 to 3-year-olds was really, really challenging because they were learning just you know, a lot of self skills, but yet they were still in that toddler phase. So it was really, really difficult to teach, you know, the 2.5, 3-year-old children because it's just a lot of things going on. They're learning how to potty train, just a lot going on.
That's challenging.
Yes, and you really have to go into silly mode when you try to get their attention to redirect them. It's just like you have to go really, really silly. Make funny faces, laugh, do what they do, and then they look at you. They stop, but they look at you.
So how do you guys support each child's growth and development? What do you guys do in your guys' classrooms? to support each child's growth and development? I know that there's probably a lot of manipulatives, a lot of circle time stuff that you could do. What do you guys do?
Well, every child's different, so you kind of have to understand a certain child to know what works for them best, and go from there. You know, some are better hands-on, some are better at listening, some are better, you know, with discipline, and it really depends on the child themselves.
I agree. And then you got ones that need that one time because they don't want to, so they kind of need one. So exactly what you said.
Nikki, I think you were cutting out a little bit.
I said I agree with her totally because every child is different, and then also you got some kids that need one-on-one time
Yep, you're exactly right.
that don't want to sit for circle time, and you know they're kind of off into their to the side or whatever, and I redirect them, and I might give them their name to trace. If they don't want to sit in circle time, I'll redirect them, give them the dry erase board, and let them trace their name. And they're fine with that. And then when we're done, we'll give them that one-on-one time that we did in circle time.
Have you ever considered having like a home visit with your parents? I know in our Head Start program we have 2 home visits a year, and it's a good time to get to know what kind of goals that parents have for their children. In our Head Start program, we see the parent as the first teacher, so we kind of want them to think of goals that they have for their child before they go off to school. Have you guys ever considered that? I don't know if KinderCare or Bright Horizons or the places you guys work, if you guys have that opportunity to actually get into the home and see what kind of culture there is and get to know the family and the goals that the parents want for their children.
KinderCare has parent-teacher conferences twice a year that we do. KinderCare is also a lot about family involvement, getting to know you, especially the first few weeks of enrollment, and just maintaining open communication a lot between the parents and child.
And what kind of communication do you guys use at KinderCare, Jackie?
We use daily communication sheets to where, it breaks down basically, what each age group is different, but basically what they ate, how often they ate, if they slept, how long they slept for,
Right.
what kind of activities we did throughout the day, and then we individualize those each day. There's also like what we did today, papers that we post so that parents can look at those. There's parent communication boards. And then we just take the time at drop-off and pick-up to really, just go over how their child's day went individually.
Yeah,
That's the same with ours. But we have love notes that's on an iPad that's emailed to the parent, and the pictures daily with the arts and crafts that we do, circle time, what they did, how they liked it, what they ate, everything. And plus the parents can watch on live feed all day.
That's nice.
So they can watch all day. There's no sound, but they can watch what their child is doing the whole time they're there.
That's really nice. Yeah, we don't have that yet. We're on the East Coast, so it's
Okay. We have live feed at the daycare I'm at working now. So it's pretty nice. So, and they send out the love notes on the iPad, and the parents can email the iPad at any time, and we'll get it because the iPad stays in each classroom. Or if we have any concerns, the parents usually respond right away to the messages we send.
that's a great way of communicating. I mean, we do live in a digital world right now, and parents respond faster to email and text messages and rather than a telephone call.
Right, because most of the parents are sitting at a desk, so they can respond quicker.
Yeah, we at KinderCare we also have what we did today, a board, and it shows what the kids did for that day. So we have that day by day.
That's a good way too.
It's similar to Bright Horizons. We have an iPad as well where the parents can download an app on their phone. So it's a live feed. So when we put in if the child ate, what the child has ate for the day, it goes straight to their phone and they'll get alerted. We also do the What in the World and we have the parents boards. But we don't do the incentive where we can go to their houses, but we do like a curriculum night, or we'll do a grandparents night. Things Father's Day, we make Mother's Day gifts. Thanksgiving, holidays, we do stuff like that, but there's not an option where we can physically go to their homes.
Thanks for sharing, Kendall. That's awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of apps out there. I know Brittany shared that they have an app called Tadpoles Pro that the parents download. Nice. Anything else on the subject? How do you support each child's growth and development? If nobody has anything else for that, we'll just go on to the next slide. So you guys were supposed to come today with an example or two of state licensing rules and regulations that's critical to child safety. And I'm just a little bit curious to know how each state, I know each state is a little bit different in their rules and regulations. And for example, Colorado has a 1 teacher to 5 infant ratio in their infant rooms, which I think is a little bit too much for one person to take care of 5 infants, and I don't really think that's quality care. So I really think that, you know, because they're infants, I think it's really crucial to always have 2 in there, 2 teachers to at least 5 kids or 5 infants. In our program in Adams County Head Start here in Colorado, the licensing, the state rule says that we could have 1 teacher to 10 children per classroom. If there's 2 teachers, we could have a max up to 20. But since we are Head Start and we have Head Start standards that are a little bit more strict, and so our ratio actually goes down from 1 teacher to 8 children. So we have 2 teachers in the classroom per 16 children, and that's usually the max. And that's a little bit about child safety and an example in Colorado. Do you guys have anything to share about your guys' states? I know we have a lot of people from Illinois.
Illinois.
Yeah.
I have a problem with 2 teachers to 16 kids for the 2-year-olds. That's the issue for me with safety. Because if you're changing diapers, because they're not potty trained, most of them, and then you have sensors open and you're trying to watch all these kids, you got some pooping, you got some that do go to the bathroom, some that has to be changed. It's like kind of difficult to have 2 people in there to me. It should be 3 teachers.
The supervision of children is kind of left out the door when you're constantly changing diapers and then there's 15 other children running around with one teacher. I totally agree.
It can get crazy because we actually do some of the 2.5 are potty trained. So you might have two in the bathroom, one teacher change it, and then you got to watch the other, 13, and it's like, okay, but you got to make sure they're okay in the bathroom. You got to
Did
make
you,
sure the ones on the carpet is safe.
have you guys ever advocated for another teacher in your guys' classroom? And how did your director respond to something like that?
But director at the center I'm working at, she told us she's working on it.
And I'm sure it comes all down to budget, and the lack thereof of budget too. That seems to be the problem a lot with early childhood education facilities and child care centers, is trying to have a third teacher in there just because of budget issues. Anybody else want to talk about anything that they have that's critical to child safety with their state licensing rules and regulations?
For me, the infant class, I just think 1 to 4. I think 4 infants is a lot for one person. So I would think that they need like 2 or 3 people in there.
You almost need one teacher per infant, or 1 to 2.
I was going to say 1 to 2.
I would agree with that.
And to deal with the parent schedule, sometimes that they have the kids on, if you have 4 infants and you're the only teacher in there, and everybody has a different schedule because they're different ages, that's hard.
No, I completely agree.
And some of the parents' rules and, time schedules, you're trying to follow 4 different time schedules, 4 different kids. That's totally different schedules, and you're running around and, you'll have some days.
Yeah, I think those situations are just universal. It's just like everywhere that those are, some issues that needs to be addressed.
And, as early educators, what can we do to advocate for that? What can you do as a teacher to advocate for more help in the classroom?
I've just talked to the directors and let them know, hey, the parents is watching this 24/7, so they see your teachers overwhelmed and running around looking, and, they might feel like their child is not getting the best care. Because there's too many kids in the classroom and not enough teachers in the class. So they do take it in consideration where I'm working at this time, at the center I'm at.
Have you ever asked for volunteers to come in? If they got their background check done in order to help out in the class. I know it's a little bit different in the Head Start realm, where we really strive to have parent volunteers in the classroom so that they get to know what the children is learning throughout the day. But I know, like, with a lot of your guys' families, a lot of them have jobs too, so it's kind of hard to get those volunteers in consistently to help out.
Yes, that's a very difficult task.
Well, especially if they're paying a lot of money for childcare.
Yes.
Does anybody else have anything they want to share on the subject? So I really think it's important that if you're outside with the children, to always be zoning and making sure that you're actively out there and engaged with them instead of just sitting around and having them do whatever on the playground. Encouraging play with them is really, really critical to child safety too. A lot of the accidents that you guys have happen is usually on the playground. So, I mean, just making sure that your playground meets code with the fall zones and making sure that the equipment is properly stored, properly secured. Always having a checklist for counting face to child is probably another good way. I'm sure a lot of your programs do that already.
Yeah.
Anything else? All right. So I'm going to leave it open for you guys to ask any questions about the information that is presented. If you participated tonight and you're here, you will get full points for this live session. I know some of you guys talked, some of you guys were writing through chat. Participation looks different in different ways, so I do appreciate your guys' time. But if you guys don't have any questions, I'm always free, and just give me a call or write me in course messages if you have any questions or anything. So let me know if you guys have any questions. If not, feel free to just let me know if you have questions and we could go from there. Does anybody want to share anything else before we end our class?
No, I'm fine.
Does everybody feel comfortable?
Me too.
Yes,
Yep, I feel comfortable.
I do.
Good, good. That's great to hear, guys. Well, keep up the good work, and we will talk to you guys in discussion and through our next live session that is 2 Wednesdays from now. So have a good night, and we'll talk to you guys later.
All right, thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye.
You too.
Thank you.